Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got the same setup. We got the D-Reaper, we got Impmon, we got Guilmon helping us out. Last time we looked at the new Guilmon tutorial deck. This time we're going to look at the Renamon tutorial deck. Again, that's just because of alphabetical order. Worked out for this one. Little thing to note about a Renamon deck is that we have seen a Guilmon deck officially released. We have seen a Beelzemon deck officially released. And we have seen a Terriermon deck. I mean Terriermon, but officially released. So that means that with this one, officially all of the main characters have had some official deck released. I am honestly surprised Renamon didn't get a full deck like the others did. I'm wondering if we'll see one down the pipeline, because that would be very cool to have all of them have an official deck release. But it's nice to see you're getting some sort of representation somehow. So let's put off the mat. Again, we're going to have the 4 eggs at the back, just like last time. Again, I wish that the QR code for how to play was a little more prominent, not on the playmat like we saw last time. But at least it's in there somewhere. So starting off, we got Digimon from EX2. We got 4 copies of that. Inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, draw 1 card from the deck. Pretty good, different playstyle than Guilmon. I'm going to imagine that there's going to be more option cards in this deck than the last one. Don't know, but I'm hoping so with the way that Renamon playstyle works. Then we got 4 copies of EX2 Renamon. 3 play costs, 0 evolution cost, 1000 DP. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Cubimon, Talmon, or Sakuyamon in its name and 1 Rika among them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, gain 1 memory. Something again I just want to note real quick is that these all have not for sale right there. But other than that, they should be completely legal in tournament play. And then we got 2 copies of this other Renamon, which is interesting because that means that we've only got 6 rookies as opposed to the last deck that we had 8 in. So 4 play cost, 1 Digivolution cost, 2000 DP. Digivolve from Digimon for a cost of 0. On play, until the end of your opponent's turn, 2 of their Digimon with 4000 DP or less can't attack. Inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, gain 1 memory. So this one's going to be a little more tricky for new players, I feel, because it's got that Digimon cost of 0, but then it's got an on-play effect. So we're probably going to have some players thinking that they can play it in the breeding area and get that effect when they can't. But that's a good early lesson to have. On to the champions already. And we got 3 copies of Cubimon from BT10. 6 play costs, 2 Digivolution costs, 5000 DP. When Digivolving, you may activate one of the effects below. Return 1 option card with plugin in its name from your trash of the hand, or by trashing 1 option card with plugin in its name from your hand, draw 2 cards. No inherited effect. So again, teaching players that not all Digimon have inherited effects. That's a good little lesson. I do also like the choice, because it gives a little more option. Then we got 3 copies of Cubimon from EX2. 6 play cost, 2 Digivolution cost, 5000 DP. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 option card with plugin in its name among them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. Inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. So yeah, this one, again, it's working very much with the Rika Renamon playstyle, where it's working with the plugins. Good one to the deck, as long as the rest of the deck kind of holds up. As long as we get a good amount of option cards, these should be fine cards for the deck. On to the Ultimates. We have 4 copies of EX2 Talmon. 8 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 DP. When Digivolving, you may play 1 Rika from your hand without paying the cost. Inherited effect, your turn, once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. So again, really solid for teaching a player how to use option cards and things like that. Like, that's helping with that. Then we got our Mega. We got 3 copies of Sakuyamon. She's a 12 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 11,000 DP from EX2. Almost forgot. When Digivolving, one of your Digimon unsuspends, and for each of your Tamers, return 1 option card with plug-in from its name from your trash to the hand. Your turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. And that's not once per turn. That'll be another thing the player will learn, which is great. Yeah, a good Mega for the deck. A good kind of boss monster that's not too powerful. Then we got our trainer, 2 copies of Rika from EX2. 4 play cost, start of your turn. If you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3. Your turn. When any of your Digimon with Renamon, Cubimon, Talmon, or Sakuyamon in their names attacks, by suspending this tamer, you may use 1 option card with plug-in in its name from your hand without paying the cost. Security, play this card without paying the cost. This one seems worlds better than the Takuya? No, Takato. Than the Takato from the other deck. Sometimes I get names confused, and I do apologize. But worlds better because she's got the 2 memory or less set to 3. Like, that to me easily marks that this Renamon deck is just that much better. Because you can starve out the Guilmon deck from memory, like always ending on like 1. But they can't end you on 1, otherwise you bump up to 3. So that's a little but still fine. Now we've got the option cards, and we do have 2 more option cards here, it looks like. We got 2 copies of Pause Plugin P, which is a promo. Okay, that's interesting to have a promo in one of these demo decks. I don't know I would have done that. 5 play cost. While you have a Tamer in play, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP, and its when Digivolving effects can't activate. Security. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP for the turn, then add this card to the hand. I am really liking this. This is a good one for a yellow deck, because like the minus 6,000, great. And then, like, just the Wind Digivolving, shutting that down, that is pretty good. Because it means if they go from, like, Ultimate to Mega with a Wind Digivolving effect, that's not going to activate. Do I think this card should have been in this deck? I don't think so, because that's a very weird thing to have a new player kind of remember. Because they could play this down, give the opponent minus 6,000 DP for a reason, like just goes like, oh, then they won't be able to beat over my security so easily, and forget the Wind Digivolving. And if the other person's new, neither of them are really going to remember that. This seems like a very weird card to put in this deck. I would have probably swapped it out for a different plugin. Then we got 1 copy of Offensive Plugin A, 2 play cost. While you have a Tamer, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Main, one of your Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. Security effect. Security, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card among them to the hand, return the rest to the bottom of the deck, then add this card to the hand. This is off color, and it can only work if Rika's out. I'm going to have to give it a pass because that is kind of like how the deck works, and it will teach the player like color requirements. So yeah, this one, it makes it a little weaker, but with Rika's set memory to 3, I don't think this one is a bad inclusion. The final card we got is Digivolution Plugin S from EX2, and that is a 2 play cost. While you have a Tamer, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Main, draw 1 card from your deck. Then, without paying the cost, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card in the hand that can Digivolve for a Digivolution cost of 3 or less. Security. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card among them to the hand, return the rest of the bottom of the deck, then add this card to the hand. Again, this one's alright. It'll teach them about color requirements, and I think with some of the other aspects of the deck being a little more powerful, putting this hamper on the deck and giving them 2 cards that they can only play if a Tamer is out, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Again, we're trying to teach players how to play. That'll be a good way to do it. Even if they take this deck home and they play it and they think they've got it and they take it to just friendly, like, Digimon Day, or like Digimondays. That's one of the things that one of the farther away places call it, because they do it on Monday, which I love that name. But if they take it to a friendly Digimondays and they misplay, players will easily be able to like correct them, be like, no, you can't do that because of the color requirements. So that's nice. Let's take a look at the playmat now. This is the first Renamon playmat that we've had. And there it is. Do they have the card in the deck that I'm guessing that this one had its art taken? Yep, there it is. So EX4 Renamon right on the front. Again, Digimon Liberator. Good way to kind of promote that. Other than that, pretty good one. I like how the numbers are clear and easy to read. Again, they got the minus where the rules are on the back. If you didn't watch my last video, I don't like this because if two new players are mid-game and they need to remember how to play something, like they'll have to carefully move the cards off the battle area so they can read this and then flip it back, put everything back, and continue play. It's not a good spot for the rules. They should do the cards because that would fit perfectly in here. We went over it last time, but just to reiterate, like they have made these rules cards, and they don't need these two to have the memories on the opposite sides, so they could just sandwich them, and they could keep the coin punch out there, because that would essentially get into this little picture here, and it would just give them all the basic rules that they would need for it. So personally, that's what I would have liked to see added to this, because it would have made this like the perfect kind of tutorial starter deck. Like, other than making this an actual 50 card deck, which, you know what, they're giving these out for free. I'm not going to complain about that too much. Like, I do like that they did one that was full, but this one being half, that's a good way to teach players how to kind of like start learning the game. But that's the Renamon deck. Before we leave, as you know, we like to do at least some card opening. So I do have another official tournament pack, Volume 10. We got Blaumon, we got Pulsemon, Huckmon, Duramon, Impmon, and Harrismon. We pulled Huckmon last time. I would kind of like to get either of those two. Like, honestly, any of these I'm not going to be too disappointed that I get, because they're all pretty neat, and they're all promos, so it's a great way to get promos. Which, again, it's weird that this deck had promos in it. I don't think I would have agreed with that. And we got Harrismon. Pretty cool. 3 play costs, 0 digivolution cost, 2000 DP. Security at the end of battle. One of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. No inherited effect. Or security attack -1. It's one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1. This is pretty funny because we got Huckmon last time, and he would have gone in pretty okay with the red one. This is a yellow one. You could just splash it into the Renamon deck if you wanted to. Wouldn't it be amazing there? But you could do it. So that's pretty on point for both of them. With that, we've reached the end of the video. Let me know what you guys thought. Do you think they should have added these promos in, or do you think they should have used a different plugin? What other plugin would you guys have suggested for this deck? Leave that in the comments down below. If you got any ideas for future videos, also put them down there. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you haven't, please just subscribe. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. The algorithm loves it. We upload videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And as always, until then, I will see you next time.